thanks to Ohio University, thanks to the Consortium for Energy, Economics and the Environment, and the Voinovich School. But on energy quickly, it's a huge issue for us in our country right now. We've got a lot of issues and problems with regard to our economy. One thing we've got going for us is a relatively inexpensive, reliable, and environmentally sound supply of energy. And with that, we can do a lot. Without it, we can't continue on the path of some of the economic and technological advances we've been able to make as a spearhead of the Industrial Revolution in the state of Ohio. But energy is just key, obviously. It's a key driver to our economy, but also our foreign policy. So I think we've got a great opportunity in Ohio. And I think through an aggressive, what I call all of the above energy policy, which includes producing what we've got in the ground in Ohio, we can achieve this energy security we talk about sometimes. I hear from our manufacturers, you know, give us a steady, stable supply of natural gas and lower electricity costs because of the fact that we've got this energy in the ground here in Ohio. And you know, we'll have a competitive advantage and we'll move more stuff to Ohio and we'll be able to grow more here. So in my view, it's key to achieving that future. I think there are two prongs to it. One is producing more, and the other is being more efficient as to how we use energy. So it's kind of, to me, very complementary. Sometimes they're presented as being at odds with one another. People say, well, one creates jobs, the other destroys jobs, one saves money, the other costs it, one hurts the environment, the other helps it. I think that's a false dichotomy. I think by producing more and using it more efficiently, it helps everybody. Energy efficiency does create jobs. And the shale boom in eastern Ohio has shown that, you know, we can create relatively inexpensive energy, stable pricing, because we've got such a great supply that's an improvement to the environment, but also keeps our factories moving, and you know, it's just a great opportunity for us. So I think they go together. It's also great for our foreign policy. It helps us to be less dependent on foreign oil from dangerous and volatile parts of the world, and that's obvious, and we see what's going on, whether it's in Egypt or Syria or Libya. For us not to be dependent on that part of the world would be a good thing. So we're doing a good job in Ohio. In my view, we had a pretty good foundation of regulations that goes back to the 70s. The state legislature, working with the governor, has, in my view, improved those regulations. Let me just say that the legislation we've got on the floor that I hope will come up after we finish this issue over the spending bills, the continuing resolution, it's called the Energy Efficiency and Industrial Competitiveness Act. And it's called the Industrial Competitiveness Act for a reason, which is that it encourages energy efficient technologies to be used throughout our economy, but especially in industry and manufacturing. And it can save us billions of dollars. It also focuses on building codes and also focuses on forcing the federal government to practice what it preaches, because the federal government's the biggest user of energy in the country. And although it talks a lot about how everybody else needs to be energy efficient, it's very inefficient. And it's a great opportunity to save the taxpayers money as well as using less energy. And energy costs, obviously, is a huge part of what you add to, you know, to your mix. That input is something we can help on. And this bill makes it easier for employers to use tools to reduce those costs, which enables them to put those savings against expanding their company and hiring new workers, all the things that you would want folks to do. But anyway, I think the legislation makes good energy sense, it makes good economic sense, and good environmental sense, so it's one of those win-win-wins. On the energy bill, as the Republican sponsor, I have been saying that I insist on having an open process with our bill. Unfortunately, there's so much pent-up demand because amendments aren't getting to be offered on other things that it detracted a lot of other amendments. So now we're having to rethink that and to think, you know, how do you get this thing through the process by allowing some debate on some other amendments, but focus it more on energy. Ohio does happen to have one of these centers that helps train up energy efficiency workers and also helps to provide businesses with energy efficiency ideas. They're underfunded, they've got a lot more work they could do, and they really aren't engaged aggressively in the business of training up energy efficiency workers. Legislation does provide funding for that. It happens to be in Dayton, Ohio, It happens to be one of the national centers. I think there are about 24 of them. And we think this is an important advantage for Ohio. I was at a company in Columbus recently where I got to meet one of the scientists from this center in Dayton, at University of Dayton. And he had really helped this company to be able to deal with their energy issues. Simple things that have saved them a bunch of money. And it was utilizing some of the best practices that the Department of Energy have been doing research on, but have not been getting out to this business and others. So it's an example where we're going to have some opportunities in Ohio through the center to be able to let all of our manufacturers take more advantage of some of the best practices and the best new technology. So that will help in terms of Ohio manufacturing.